After watching Jian and Changhyun's story in episode 10, I couldn't help but wonder, what exactly caused their quick breakup? It's the biggest question on everyone's mind. Right off the bat, the awkwardness in their so-called couple photos stood out like a sore thumb. Looking at those photos, which were supposed to be their honeymoon phase, you can tell that the only person looking in love alone was Changhyun. Jian, on the other hand, looked like she was doing her best to maintain a polite but distant posture. The only photo where she looked a bit comfortable was the one where she locked arms with him. The rest got me crying, lol, not literally, but you get what I mean. And how about their meeting, OMG? It reminded me of their final one-on-one date that led to Jian pulling out her baseball cap. Thankfully, she kept her cap at home this time, hahaha. And can we just appreciate how pretty she looks with her short hair? I think I prefer her with this look. Anyways, moving on. While it was beautiful that for the first time in the history of the show, we got 4 couples in its first final choices, there's also something deeply disheartening about the fact that, for the first time in the show's history, a final couple outright refused to participate in the cohabitation stage. This is a milestone I personally didn't want to see. So, what went so wrong? Let's break it down. Here's a quick dive into the potential reasons behind their point of no return. Let's check out all the signs we missed and try to analyze what could have gone wrong. Looking back at their history, we can say they both shared a lot in common. Like their reasons for divorce were eerily similar. Jian got divorced because of money problems. At first, she thought love could fix everything. But after getting married, she and her ex-husband had a hard time with money and other real-life problems. They started fighting every single day, and it got so bad that even their families got involved. Jian said they argued 365 days a year. In the end, she filed for divorce when she had enough. Meanwhile, Changhyun's reason had a similar undertone. He too said he loved his ex-wife a lot while they were dating. And he also thought that love could conquer all things and solve every problem, but over time he realized that there are things love alone cannot conquer. Before getting married, he and his ex didn't fight much, but after marriage, they argued all the time. Changhyun said he wasn't used to handling big fights, so it became really hard for him. Eventually, he was the one who asked for the divorce. This means both Jian and Changhyun believed in love, but now they focus more on practical things than on having a heart-fluttering romantic relationship. Meaning, the word love and practicality might have impacted their situation one way or another. Next, there's the point of their children. When Jian went into the information reveal room, she seemed very curious about how many kids Songseok had. She was thrilled to learn he didn't have any, and decided to pursue him, until she found out that Changhyun, whom she was interested in, also liked her. Then she quickly dropped Songseok to go to Changhyun. But during the child reveal, Jian discovered that Changhyun had a child too. Could this have made her think twice about Changhyun? She claimed she didn't mind that Hee-young had a kid when she decided to switch to him, but her feelings for Hee-young were clearly not as strong as they were for Changhyun. So, does it mean that she used Hee-young as a distraction or some sort of gateway to step away from Changhyun on the show? Let's face it, Jian could have spoken to Hee-young without all that drama, but she chose to do it that way because she may not have wanted to be with Changhyun in the end. My point is, could their breakup or strong issues be related to the reality of them both having children and how to navigate life together? Then, there's their impulsiveness. Based on how the show was edited, it's clear that Jian and Changhyun are both impulsive people. It feels like they don't think deeply about their choices before jumping into them, especially in their love lives. And this impulsiveness is why Jian suddenly decided she wanted to switch to Hee-young out of the blue. And similarly, why Changhyun dropped the lady he had been sticking with for days on the show in an instant, and immediately switched to Jian without batting an eye towards Jin-young. Could this impulsiveness explain some of their issues now? Finally, there's their jobs. Jian works at a financial company, and Changhyun used to be a news anchor but is now a freelance broadcaster. Could Jian have been bothered by Changhyun's freelance status, especially since financial stability was a big reason for her divorce? Changhyun also dropped Jin Young earlier in the show because her job wasn't steady enough for him. He chose Jian because she seemed more financially stable, and even when Jian went on a rampage, he took the first step in reconciling their differences and tried to make things work. They eventually made the final choice. Even though they both admitted they didn't feel like a great match, they still chose each other as their final partners for the cohabitation stage. Now in episode 10, they started their story saying they took the same car together as they returned to Seoul and agreed to start dating from there. They met 2 or 3 times a week, often near Jian's workplace for lunch. Changhyun shared how happy he felt whenever he went to see Jian, even saying he loved feeling those butterflies again. They showed their couple photos and you could see the joy in Changhyun's face. He looked genuinely happy in the pictures, while Jian had this look of someone with a forced plastic smile. As soon as I saw those photos I was like, nah. The vibe feels off. Maybe she just isn't feeling him like that, and that's okay. But despite this, they dated for a while. But 2 months later, when cohabitation filming was about to start, it was a different story and things had clearly changed. In the scene shown, Changhyun arrived first at a restaurant to meet Jian, but when she showed up, they didn't even greet each other. To me, Changhyun's expression looked bittersweet. Like he was happy to see her but also hurt by her. Meanwhile, Jian had a brief crazy smile, ha ha ha, and the expression that looked like she was screaming, "I can't wait to say goodbye to you forever." Jian looked like she was ready to bring back her evil cap and let lightning strike again for another wild rampage, ha ha ha. When Changhyun asked, "Is this the first time we're meeting in 2 weeks?" It became clear their breakup was just 2 weeks prior and they seemed to have had a huge fight. What started as minor arguments or misunderstandings might have been blown up into something much bigger, just like it happened on the show. It was obvious they didn't want to bring that energy onto the screen, so they decided not to film. Honestly, this is one of those times I wish the production team had placed them under the old rule of the show, where participants couldn't meet before the cohabitation stage. Maybe that could have saved some of the tension. Like wow, they couldn't even get it together for just 2 months, lol. It looks like Changhyun is still interested if Jian is willing to try, even though he said they had reached a point of no return. But judging by his expressions, it's not completely over yet. On the other hand, Jian's speech and body language made it clear she's done, as if she had already decided it was truly the end. It's crazy but not entirely surprising how fast things fell apart between them. I'm still curious to know what happened in such a short time for them to have crossed to that point of no return as they both have stated. Could it be any of the reasons I've stated in this video? I guess we'll find out in the next episode. In any case, I hope they go their separate ways and find partners who are a better fit for them. Like seriously, they should never have chosen each other to begin with. What do you think about Jian and Changhyun? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe.